Okay, guys, we're gonna do a quick recap on today's trades. Today we traded two stocks, ESEA, EC. Here it is on the 5-minute chart. Here we can see that it gapped up from the day before. It was trading around 225, gapped up to a level of 328, pulled back to VWAP, made a move higher. Here was a nice little flag right here at 328. And it made the break of the pre-market high up to a move of 446. So that was very pre-market, very nice move pre-market. Of course, I don't really trade pre-market, so it was a potential good candidate for a trade out of the gates. So we'll take a look. Okay, so we'll explain the potential entry out of the gates. The pre-market high was 446, so a break of 446 would have been a setup for a gap and go entry. So you can see it worked from 446 up to 510 on the 5-minute chart. So we'll jump into the 1-minute chart, the one that I usually trade on the 1-minute chart. We'll get faster results on that one. So here you can see that it was trading around 225, hit 328, pulled back to VWAP, then it just rode this VWAP higher, hit a high of 446, pulled back to VWAP. This was a potential entry at candle to make a new high over 417. I was watching that and I was thinking to myself, well, if we remember yesterday, we had some sellers up at the pre-market high, candle's new high, and and that was the whole dollar break. So I was like, I don't know, I've got a feeling that the same thing might happen today. So it's probably better if we just kind of sit tight and just see how it trades. Well, sure enough, this thing exploded out of the gates. High was 417, so the correct entry would have been here on 417. I saw a seller at 410. I was like, okay, well, if I see this seller get bought up, I'll probably jump in, but I doubt it. Sure enough, he got bought up, and it hit from 417 to a high of 476. It halted going up, so that was a nice 40 cents from that entry, and then so it resumed from the halt, and it hit a high of 510, and then it pulled back. So I was kind of like, oh, I missed that entry. That would have been a nice, solid win. I hesitated, which I'm kind of glad that I did. I followed my rules, which that's more important. Uh, so on this dip is where I bought. It hit a low of 402, and it was a pretty exaggerated dip. So I jumped in at around that level, and I around 415, and I sold around 440 for this bounce up. As you can see here, it's a bounce. Jumped in around this bounce 415, sold up here at 440, which was the high of this candle, 441. That was a pretty nice trade right there. And I stopped. I got out completely, took my profit, and here you can see that it just faded from the VWAP, and then here it came back up to the VWAP, but I was done trading that stock, EC. The next stock that I did trade was Hertz. They rent cars. So here we'll pull up this one had a pretty nasty dip since all this coronavirus stuff is going on. It was trading around $20, and it broke the 200 EMA support, and it's down at trading down at $1 from $20. Uh, that's a pretty big steep drop. Well, anyways, it was gapping up this morning from 75 cents up to $1. So we were watching this. I was like, I'm not sure. I really wanted to break $1 so I can, for a potential entry, a break of $1. That's usually a setup, a break of the whole dollar, the $1 break. And so we'll jump into the 1-minute chart and we'll see how the trade that I took was. So as you can see here, it dipped down to 80 cents, came back up, and on this candle, of course, it was extended, so it was very risky to take this trade. But I went ahead and got in because it was a whole dollar break. The whole dollar break, it's a setup that sometimes works, but you have to be able to stop out quickly if it doesn't, because if it fails, you expect a pretty big drop. So I jumped in around 99 cents and sold on the high of this candle, which is around 107. And that was it on that one. It pulled back here at 103 was the high on that candle. An entry at 103 for a move up to this level, 116, would have been another potential entry. But I was like, well, I gave it a shot and I just didn't want to go back in there for seconds. As you can see here, this bull flag worked nicely. Nice 10 cents, 10, 15 cents from that entry. But I just, I'm following my rules. I gave it one shot, a little winner, and I'm happy with that. All right, guys, so that's it for today. Any questions, just let me know. Thank you.